Welcome to another edition of Great British Churches, and this afternoon we're having a look at St Peter's Church, Brampton. Now if you've seen the earlier video, I can't even think where we were now, but somewhere in here there is a church. Mel would join us, but she's still trying to cross the road, so she might not make it because it is on a very busy bend here on the A145, which sort of goes towards Beccles and Blytheborough. But let's go through. I'm walking behind the headstones. I found the church. Let's go through. That looked like a church in there, doesn't it? Hang on, your camera's on the wonk. That's better. Now, this church, it's 13th century, or parts of it are. It's been hacked about a bit. The 19th century has come and laid its hand upon this church in quite a big way. I'm sorry about the wobbly camera work, but rabbits have been at work, and where there's rabbits there's broken ankles. Right, well, this is the east end window. Brick has been used at play because obviously it's an awful lot easier to deal with than stonework, but yeah, let's have a look. Cork and little memorial garden there. It's funny you think of these little places, these little churches as being empty, but as we can see there's bunting at the end. Let's have a look at the little priest door there, still got its little door scrapers on it. Let's have a look. The tower's 15th century. It's actually in good nick, isn't it? I can see there's been another roof line there. This probably would have had a thatched roof at some point. But a lot of people don't know that thatch was difficult to come by, because we were a sheep growing part of the world until people discovered wheat and agriculture. The vicar has given us permission to film, and he says the church is open. Now I'm going very carefully because the cemetery's absolutely full of clover and the bees are feasting. There's the road, and somewhere beneath one of the wheels on them cars is probably Mel, but she'll probably catch us up in a bit if she can. Let's have a look at that tower. I just love the detail. It's in lovely order. Very well repaired. Nice stone. Often you see these churches and they've got all sorts, but this one's mainly flint by the looks of things. Oh, it's gorgeous though. Can you hear that? Listen. Wood pigeons. There you go. There's your little alcove where St Peter would have stood to greet the parishioners. Let's go in. Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Lovely doorway there. I'm guessing 15th century as well. Let's have a look. Let's go quiet because I haven't been in yet, so there could be people in here. Let's be careful. Wow, these are the churches that amaze me. Bell tower in there, like ropes for, or the little ropes I'm told are to ring chimes for a little set of bells up there, and then obviously the big ones, what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 bells up there possibly. Not all of them have got ropes on, but who knows? Let's have a look. Bequest to the parish of Brampton. 12 acres of low meadow called the town. This belonging to the parish, and blah, 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 faded. I'll tell you what pays for the church. Nice 19th century thou shalt not board. Let's have a look. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm going to do something we never film. Because let's have a look. Let's get this Great British Churches. Let's leave that with a visitor's book. I'll come and sign that in a bit. We'll leave that there. But let's have a look what we've got. I suppose quite a plain little church. Some of the windows are 15th century, others have been replaced in Victorian times. You can tell usually by the type of stonework. Lots of graves. These churches were made plain. The sort of Reformation came along after the times of King Henry, and in time stuff was taken out, but especially around the Civil War, we had the times of the iconoclasts who were sent out by Parliament to make sure that there was nothing popish in the church. So this one has been ripped out and it looks a little bit plain, if I'm honest. Pews are all 19th century. Let's go up into the, chancel. It's unusual, this one. It hasn't got an arch. Lots of little bits of stonework there, heads and things that are added. We were told and warned that this one, the 19th century, has laid its heavy hand upon this church, and we can see it has. The floor is absolutely full of big family vaults. Let's go up towards the altar. I mean, maybe not your thing, but certainly not mine. But if you have a look at that window there, very 19th century, lots of brasses. People who died in the 14th Hussars in Kilimanjaro and Karachi and whatnot. So let's have a look. Oh, got a lovely little piscina there. Now, piscinas, we often talk about them in these videos. Let's go over and have a look. Looks like a sink, doesn't it? But that's exactly what it is. The little shelf at the back would have held bottles containing wine and holy water, and it was flushed down there because it led directly into the cemetery, so that the holy water and the wine weren't wasted, but they'd actually go to the people in the graveyard. That is incredibly 19th century. But there's bits and bobs in here that survive. There's a little doorway there for something or other. Where that went to, who knows? I've sort of slotted the organ in here to covered up one of their windows, but let's have a look what we got. Let's have a look at one of these. The family vault in this church, Lehman Clark, rector of this parish, 1845. So this is a lot. As we can see, unfortunately the carpet's covered, but there's a lot, all of these stones on the floor. These are all vaults, tombstones. There'll be coffins buried under the old priest's door there, leading to the cemetery. What is that on there? Let's have a look. Oh, we've got something from 13 or 1569. Cannot read it. Can't read it. So it's just to, the last church we looked at today is actually full of medieval wall art and things. But yes, we can have a look. Let's go down. Very plain sort of little church, but charming nonetheless. You can see there's the remains of timber work up there, which is probably 15th or 16th century, and the ceiling there is a plaster job. Look like it's getting getting a few holes in it, and that's from the 19th century. We have a royal coat of arms up the end there, which is that big picture, and I've got to have a look and see who it is. Let's have a look. It's just says God Save the King, and let's see who it's by. George III, Royal Arms. So who was George III? We'll work that one out. We'll put it in the comments actually, because if you're watching overseas, all these different Georges would have meant something, but I'm thinking George III was about 1750 something, I'm not sure. Look, charming little font. Let's have a look. Quite plain. Probably I would say that's 19th century. Again, the graffiti people, the graffitiists have been at at large. Let's have a look. Oh, yes, yeah, 19th century font. But we'll head back out. Very plain, very simple little church. It's one we're trying to film today, all in the area around sort of Blytheborough and out into Beccles, Bungay area. So let's have a look back in the churchyard. Out of all the ones we're looking at today, this is probably by far the simplest. I love the graffiti. Graffiti, I love people leaving their marks. 1988, 1976, 2001. Let's have a look at what we got this side. Right, a bit older. Let's have a... Right, well, Mel hasn't come and joined us so far, so I expect somewhere out on that road, if I go and have a look, is her run over and bent and twisted body, but they haven't been hit by a bus or something, but it's on a horrendous bend. That road, this road is horrendously busy. It's Sunday today, so it's pretty quiet, but I'm getting a bit concerned. We'll go back and have a look. Let's have one more look at the tower. There we go. It's got the niches in there for the saints. Very sort of typical English country church. You can see the bees buzzing around. We've got lovely wildflowers growing up. I love this. I love churchyards because they're back to nature. This is great. Anyhow, if you've enjoyed this one, please like and subscribe and join us on the next adventure on Great British Churches. Bye bye for now.